Hi, folks. I just wanted to show you a program that called Manulife Vitality, and just looking at some of the offers they have here with the Apple Watch. Remember, my Garmin died, the vivofit 4, which I ended up getting through this program as well. It was kaput, and now they don't offer it anymore, unfortunately. So I've had to make a decision on getting the Apple Watch, which is what they do offer. And in order to stay in the game and earn points here to reduce the insurance premiums, I have to get some kind of device. So I figure what better than to engage in their offer, and you'll see why it's a good deal. Essentially, you get an Apple Watch. They do offer 3 different watches. The watches that they offer are the Series 6 or the Series 3, and you can also get a Series SE or upgraded watch SE for $110 more. And the way it works is that you pay essentially the taxes on the retail of the watch. So for the 3, that's the cheapest option. You'd essentially just pay the tax on it, and after that, if you earn 0 points a month, for 24 more months, you pay $10.75 per month. That essentially comes out to the cost of the watch. So at the very worst, if you're in this magenta tier and you basically do nothing, you have essentially bought yourself a watch and you've paid the cost of the watch. So you can't lose. However, if you at least achieve 240 points a month, you'll only pay $8.50 for that watch. So they'll subsidize you by like $3 or so. If you are managing to get into this blue level and earn 360 points a month, then it's $5.50 per month that you pay for the watch. So that's about half the cost of the watch paid off. And then if you manage to get 500 points and over, you don't pay anything that month for the watch. Now, how are these points awarded? Essentially, each 20 points, you can only earn points towards the watch, either 20 per month, 20 per day, or 30 per day. Nothing less than that. You can't. So 20 points, it's a standard workout. That's 20 points, and an advanced workout is 30. What it translates to in terms of steps is a standard is 10,000 steps. That gives you 20 points. Advanced is 15,000 steps, which gives you 30 points. So that's essentially how the program works. Now, the Apple Watch Series 6, it is costing a little bit more. You'll see later how it's broken down and how they do the calculations. But if you do nothing, you pay $18 a month for 24 months. If you do 240 points, you pay $14.50, and so on through the tiers. If you manage to get 500 points, it's also $0. There is a different upstart cost with the Apple Series 6. So that's why they're not equivalent cost-wise. Obviously, if you calculate $18 times 24 months, it doesn't come out to the cost of an Apple Series 6 watch. So there is a little bit of an upfront extra cost to get an Apple Series 6. And they do offer the SE here for an extra 110. It says there 110. And that is to also offset the initial extra cost for an SE versus a 3. However, once you're in the program and you have an SE or a 3, they offer the same exact discount or credits for the same points, which pays off the balance. Now, the title of this video is, why did I choose an Apple 3 versus the SE? And you'll see, as we go into the math, why I preferred the 3 versus the SE with this video. And, these are the features, not to downplay the features of the SE. It's a good alternative. It's a newer, larger display. It has a few extra features in it, fall detection, compass, and so on. So it is a better watch, but is it worth the cost difference, especially in this program, choosing the Series 3 versus the SE? or is it better to get an Apple Watch Series 6 for the cost difference? Okay, so here's a calculation sheet that I based my decision on. You have the three watches, Apple Watch 3, SE, and Apple Watch 6. The base costs are $259, $369, and $529 Canadian. With taxes, you can see the total there. And the owed at delivery are basically $33.67 for the Apple Watch 3, and that's it. That's the tax. Basically, it's $0 plus just the tax on the base price, which is $33.67. When you look at the SE, you pay the tax, which is $47.97 plus $110, which is the upgrade fee, so that's $157.97. And then on the Apple Watch 6, you owe $97, which is the upgrade fee for that one, plus the tax, which is $68.77 for a total of $165.77. And then you basically owe a balance of $259 on both the Apple Watch 3 and SE. And by paying at maximum $1,075 a month afterwards for 24 months, you'll end up paying $258, which essentially pays off the balance. You'll be $1 left at the end, which I'm not sure who covers, but that's for both Apple Watch 3 and SE. However, Apple Watch 6, you'll see there is $18 maximum a month, so that after 24 months, you'll end up paying $432, which covers the balance of the Apple Watch 6. Now, if you're really good at getting green level, which is the highest tier, and paying off, getting 500 points a month, it pays off the entire watch monthly amount of $18. You could get the remaining balance paid off by the program and owe nothing. So if we look at the subsidy level, if you actually calculate what you're ending up getting, looking at Apple Watch 3 and SE, the subsidy is essentially, for each level, let's say magenta, that's 0 points. So you're basically earning no credit at all in the program. So you're going to end up over the 24 months paying out the full $258. And that's equivalent with the SE. With Orange, it's $204 that you'll end up paying off, $132 if you're at the blue level. And if you're at the green, you're paying zero because you're getting fully subsidized by the program. So, but if you compare SE and the Watch 3, you'll notice that the subsidy levels in the SE are never going to pay off the watch as well because there's that upfront difference of $110 plus tax that you've paid. And even if you're at the green level, you've still ended up paying for that upfront difference. And you're only getting you're getting exactly the same amounts per tier as you are with the Watch 3. However, with the Watch 6, here over on the last column, on the rightmost column, of course, if you do no workouts, you're getting no subsidy, you're going to pay out $432 fully. But as you get better and better and you're really pushing it, even at the blue workout, you're getting 40% of the watch subsidized. And if you really push it at zero, at green level, you pay nothing else. So you would have had 82% of the watch paid off. Because really the only thing you would have paid is that initial upfront, 97 plus tax, which is still better than the SE, which we'll get into in a moment. So let's see over the entire 24 months, let's compare the Watch 3 versus SE, Watch 3 versus 6, and SE versus 6, okay? If you look at the first column, the SE and the Watch 3, no matter what level you do, and again, this varies from month to month, obviously. You're not going to be always in green. You might have some blue months, some orange, some blue, hopefully no magentas. But if you're within the orange, blue, greenish range, maybe more blue than anything, there's no difference. You're going to end up paying $124.30 difference more for an SE over the lifetime of the entire program. And that's if you feel that it's worth it. You're paying 42% higher costs essentially for an Apple Watch SE over a 3, then fine. But at worst, if you ended up paying almost nothing more for the Apple Watch 3, you paid $33.67 total for the entire over the 24 months because you got subsidized the whole way. You actually paid $157.97 initially on your SE, right? Because that's what you owed at delivery. So you paid, about 370% more for that SE over the Apple Watch 3 in the program. 369% more. So, is it worth it? I don't know. Obviously it's newer hardware. If you think it's better to pay $124, or 42% more money for the SE over a Watch 3 at basic retail, great. And then as you work out more, you're almost getting the Apple Watch 3 for nothing because you're paying everything off. You can never recoup that because the SE still cost you upfront way more than the Watch 3, or 369% more upfront. So that's why I'd prefer the 3 versus the SE. I don't think it's worth getting the SE for that much more. Now, let's compare 3 versus 6. This is interesting. Because of the subsidy level being much better, remember, they're subsidizing, $18 every month that you do this, that you get 500 points or more. So you actually are going to end up getting, the difference is only $132 more if you're at the green level over the lifetime of the 24-month period with the Watch 6. If you're, constantly in blue and green, you're going to be paying about 132 more, or at the worst, maybe 216 more for the 6 versus the 3. And, it might be worth it because the 6 is a much better watch. But, it's still a big difference. I mean, 132 versus 216. Let's say you're in blue most times, most of the months. Unless you're really gunning it, you're in blue if you're lucky, and 216.10, you're going to be paying more for the Watch 6 over the Watch 3. And that's, in addition to the upfront costs. Now, if you look at an SE versus 6, this is where the math shows that it's really not worth getting an SE. If you had to choose between an SE and a 6, it's just way better to get the 6. No matter what you do. I mean, if you're in the blue range, or even and the green, even better, you're only paying $7.80 more for the 6 over the SE, because the initial cost is $97 plus the tax on the watch. You're paying $165.77 for a Watch 6, and then because your workouts are subsidizing so much more per month, $18 of the cost over the 24. If you're keeping up and being in green, you're going to have the watch pretty much paid off. All you're doing is paying $165.77 versus an SE, which is $157.97. So you can see here the difference. At the green tier, you're practically paying nothing more for the 6, so it's way better to get the 6 over the SE. And even at the blue level, you're only paying about $92 more for a Watch 6 over the 24 months. So I feel like there's no contest, between versus SE versus 6. If you can and you think you can work out and pay it off, I'd get the Watch 6, hands down. And if you're just starting off and you don't know for sure if you're going to be at that level, and you also don't want to pay that upfront amount of $160-something, right? Like I don't want to pay $165.77. I'd rather pay $33.67. And even if I'm at the blue level, I still think it's worth getting the 3 and not forking out even double more for the SE over the lifetime of the program. So that's essentially a summary of the math that I factored into my decision on which Apple Watch to start off with for the program. I think it's better if you're just starting off to go into the Series 3 cost-wise, or jump into the Series 6.